people are doing in the aspect of if these people eat live pineal glands in these particular people don't give a damn about nothing. These are the people you're going to get in. Whether it's Kerry or Bush, it doesn't matter, because there is no such thing, a Democrat, Republican. It's ruled by secrecy. And those people, their job is just as a decoy figure to keep you confused. Sit down for a minute. One of the sciences of George Bush Jr. is called the trickster figure, or it's called the scapegoat figure. And this is a person like the drunken master. They make you think they're stupid and an idiot, and you focus on that and always, you see what I'm saying, distracting you from some other things that's going on. So that's his job, and he does it well. To make you think he's an idiot. Now, if the man was appointed, stands the reason that the powers that be would not appoint a person that is an idiot. That's dangerous. This man was appointed and he's acting out of role. Like I said, it's worldwide wrestling. You know, if you look at worldwide wrestling, basically that's what you got in America. They got all kind of characters. You see what I'm saying? Well, his thing is to act out this, what is called a scapegoat. To make you think. It was also in the movie, it's in a movie called 1997. What's the name of that movie? It's called, it's in a movie with Jack Lemmon and James Garner. They're running for president. I think, what's the name of, tell me the movie in a minute. Jack Lemmon and James Garner. My Fellow American. And the guy in there was a Dan Quayle figure that was ignorant, and come to find out he was the man running the show. And they was thinking he was stupid, and these two people was running for their lives because this cat here was running the show and was very dangerous. Well, it's the same concept here that's going on with this Bush character. That's the scapegoat concept. And you falling for it and all, thinking he's dumb and stupid. And don't understand, these people don't run no shit based on what you can perceive is true. You understand where I'm coming from here? So this is some things that's actually going on in this book, Ruled by Secrecy, which I would suggest is the definitive text by Jim Mars. This is the one you want. This is the one that is the most advanced, because most of the books that talk about the Illuminati and the secret societies were done by Christians. And it always get down to Satan and the 666 and all that bullshit. And they're actually dealing with Osiris and they're calling him Satan. So they always put the Christian garbage in there and basically destroy the whole concept of what's going on here. You see what I'm saying? These people are clever enough to know that this world is not run on religion. The universe is not run on religion and the ancient mythology of Adam and Eve and Abraham and Jacob and all that other shit. That's just mythology made, a sublime mythology makes grotesque history. So the definitive text is the one that came out in 2000 in paper, in hardback, was about $30, and this is the paperback version, which is like $15, by Jim Mars, Ruled by Secrecy. This is the one. Just to prepare yourself, you need to get this particular book and read the introduction. Read the introduction. The introduction is profound. When they talk about we have been taught a Disney history. Our view of history is a Disney sanitized history. You see what I'm saying? A Disney sanitized history. Let me show you something here. It says on page number 4, y'all all right? Yet, despite the length and breadth of the information highway, the average American remains woefully ignorant. That is not to imply that they are stupid or mentally challenged, because he's not going to talk about that. He's talking about the miseducated. He said they have not been exposed to the information now available. Many full, educated people in a variety of fields: physicians, lawyers, computer experts, stockbrokers, accountants, bankers, merchants, scientists, teachers, etc., are totally in the dark on a wide variety of issues and connections between them concerning who truly rules the United States. You see what I'm saying? Truly rules the United States. The primary cause for the ignorance is the lack to educate ourselves. And this is very key. The primary cause for such ignorance is the lack of time to educate ourselves. So you're going off for your fast-track career, and you don't have the time to sit down and study because when you get home, you're tired. You want to just sit back, pop a cold one, and scratch your nuts or whatever you do. You know. So it says that to educate ourselves are the reliance on corporate-owned media, mass media, which does not present the information in all its broadest implications, i.e., the freedom, what said, the freedom of the press are for those whom the press, from those whom the press or the radio stations, let me get this right, the freedom of the press is for those who own the press or the radio stations. You see what I'm saying? So in so many words, this particular book is a book to arm yourself with, ruled by secrecy. Because this one goes from not only the secret societies but on into the occult. So this is one that you need to deal with. Now, trying to understand this particular information, first we must understand what is happening after this election into the 2005s. Because remember now, this is 10 years ago. 10 years ago, in 2005, several things happened. Hale-Bopp comet came. They had a great heat wave that killed a lot of people in Chicago. You had that great day that black people celebrated when O.J. Simpson got off. I'll never forget it. October the 3rd, 2005. 1995. Now it's interesting here because the movie Alien and Predator, Alien versus the Predator, the whole event which started this family fight between the alien, which represents the black male, and the predator, or the alien who represents the black woman, and the predator who represents the black man, and the black woman standing in the middle of it. And at the end, I thought it was great, the sci-fi movie come on where they don't kill us off during the credits. She was the last thing standing. But it started on October the 3rd, 2004, which was interesting because on October the 3rd, 2004, which we were last Tuesday? Or something, last Monday, last Tuesday. Anyway, I woke up and my head was buzzing and the third eye was pulsating. I said, man, this is a powerful day. Well, I said, well, hell, I know it was because 10 years ago, especially, well, 9 years ago, but 10 years ago that's coming, that was a day that we'll never forget. And it wasn't because we loved O.J., it's just that, damn it, for one time the system worked for us. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with no fucking O.J. We got so wrapped up in that trial because the white folks in the media made us get so wrapped up until it was one of those things till he couldn't go to jail or be executed or whatever because it would have broke the energy in the hearts of black people. You see what I'm saying? So we know these things happen. So anyway, going right along, what we're talking about here is 2005 is coming up. It'll be 30-year anniversary of the ascension or the transition of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was 30 years ago that the Jehovah's Witness, with my man going to drop on Sunday, got a whole shit on Jehovah's Witness and all these fools, which was basically white supremacists. But it was 30 years ago that the Jehovah's Witness said that in 1975 the world was going to end. And as a result, when it didn't end, it broke. The organization was never as strong as it was, you see, after 1975. So it's a lot of things that happened 30 years ago. You see what I'm saying? A lot of things happened 30 years ago, and as a result, if you don't calculate it, the people, the powers that be, calculate it. So in so many words, they're ready for Homeland Security. So let's give you some step-by-step things on what you need to look out for. Number one, stay out of, don't announce yourself as no groups. Number one on the Homeland Security, the Homeland Security Terrorist Act, the Moors. You announce yourself as Moors, well, congratulations. You are now a terrorist. The Nation of Islam, any Islamic group, any what they call subversive group, Hebrews, Moors, or any of this stuff, any group, ASCAC is on there, whatever groups you got going on, all your Hebrew groups, your Egyptian groups, your Camite groups, because what happened was Dr. York was arrested about 6-7 months after 9/11. I think he was arrested in April of 2002. Now, March or April of 2002. With the arrest of Dr. York, which I knew this was going somewhere, because they were setting it all up. They started setting this thing up in 1997 when they put him on the front page of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on a color widescreen picture, him dressed up as Osiris and all of that. And I said, wait a minute, the brother going to get in a lot of, I said, they're starting something here. We're going to see where this is going. So, first they had to introduce him to the world. You see what I'm saying? And so, and they had him on Fortune Time, they had him on Strange Planet. He was always a reoccurring figure on the news down in Atlanta. And I was following this thing. I said, they're setting up some stuff. They were setting up some things. So I said, now let me look at this. With the arrest of Dr. York, and I'll show you how clever this is. And everybody in this room is involved if you're conscious. Now just follow me on this, because this is very important on how they're coming after you. Hip-hop culture is #1 a terrorist group now. So all your little hip-hop shit, you got to be solo. Don't align with nobody, and you got to tell your children.
Bobby, they're doing the 30-year anniversary of hip-hop. Right now.
Okay.
So you mentioned the 30-year cycle.
Now it's interesting because the hip-hop culture is, and one thing you got to understand something, hip-hop culture is now deemed terrorism. One thing you got to do with your children, and this is very key, you got to tell your sons, especially your sons, that you can't be hanging out on the corner or with 2 or 3 members of the male species, because we don't have any rights. You understand what I'm saying? And hanging out now is a terrorist, subversive act. Now don't be bullshitting around and say they can't do this. Just look at what they have done to you the last fucking 10 years. So you can't, so all this hanging out, you know you niggas like to hang the fuck out. That shit is a no-no in this country come 2005. That shit can get you in jail. Now they have the right to arrest you, try you, convict you, and execute you, and ain't nothing nobody can do about it because you've given up all your rights with these terrorist acts. Got to understand what's going on here. So the hip-hop culture and all of this stuff, now try to understand what's going on here. Dr. York was arrested. It was clever how they did this. They said, now we don't have to go and write separate laws for each group when it comes to conscious groups. All we got to do is to set one man up and arrest him, and we can cover all of them. Now let's look. Dr. York was Ansar community. He was Islamic. Then it was Islamic Hebrews. Then it was Nubian. Then he became Egyptian or Camite. Then he became Moors. Then he became Chief Blackfoot. Then he became a Christian group. Became Washita Nation. I said, this nigga trying to come everything going. And last, he was the Masons. See what I'm saying? If you look at the span of the last 20 years, he became and declared himself a part of all that. It's a clever move. So when they arrested him, they said, bam, now we got the stamp and the seal on all the groups because he was, if you in the Sarset Society, well, he was Egyptian. If you was Aztec, well, he was Egyptian, a classical civilization. He was also Sumerian. You see what I'm saying? He was Hebrew for your Hebrew groups. He was Islamic for your Islamic groups. He was Moor for your Moorish groups. All you Native Americans, he was that. He was also Christian. Then he was Mason. So in so many words, he covered the gamut of secret society, and when they arrested him, which the ADL was the people who tipped the police off, because when they gave the celebration for the police who arrested him, they said we couldn't have done it without the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, because they're the ones that gave us all the information. So in so many words, they don't have to find a person affiliated with your Afrocentric group or your Sarset group or this new kind of Egyptian group or all these groups. They don't have to find a person in your group to commit a crime. Dr. York is already filled the void for you. It's a very clever thing. So as a result now, all those groups are under the goddamn terrorist bills. And showing the fuck off gonna get your ass in trouble. Now mind you me with this dumb shit. All them goddamn Hebrew niggas standing on the corner talking shit is government agents. The Black Panther, the new Black Panther Party, you need to run from that shit. New Black Panther Party is #1 on the goddamn list. And what they do, they came out and said, we are in support of Dr. York. They held a whole goddamn conference in May. And they had all these people they invited to be a part of a conference with Africa Bambaataa and them. And after, when they got in the conference, it was a rally for Dr. York. Now you got to understand what's going on. I was even invited. Spirit realm said, no, you can't go to that shit. You see what I'm saying? So the next thing I know, they got some nigga running around. We want you brothers to come together. Now, this has nothing, now, I'm not, try to understand where I'm coming from here. We're not talking junk about other groups. We're just trying to show you how clever the white man can be, and you can't fall for the fucking okie doke. You understand what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with Dr. York, the person, or Rabboni, or whatever you call him. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a system that is above that is using that as a platform to send your ass to jail. Because he was Dr. York the singer, that covers all the entertainment group. Because there were certain rappers connected with that, that covers all of that. You got to be clever with this shit. They didn't have to arrest all the people. They only had to arrest one who just so happened to conveniently be every goddamn thing. You see what I'm saying? So they invited a bunch of us to New York this past May. I bailed out. And what they do, they got them up there, they thought they was having a con. Next thing you know, it was a rally for Dr. York. Now, it ain't got nothing to do with Dr. York. Dr. York is locked up. It don't have nothing to do with that. It's a clever way. Now, all right now, understand this shit, because you got to study the history of McCarthyism. History of McCarthyism is they deem you communists, the America Communist Hollywood, and there's a whole documentary called Scandalize My Name. Scandalize My Name is a documentary where they say, okay, we got this communism shit going, but what we're going to do, we're going to go into the black conscious community of the 1950s, the ones who are fighting for civil rights, and we're going to label them communists. And as a result, you see what I'm saying? These people never worked again. Some of these people went to jail. Now, in this case, it's called guilty by association. It's a whole goddamn movie on this shit with your boy, Robert De Niro. It's called Guilty by Association. And basically who you associated with, so they say you just was invited to a party. And the party might have two people in there talking about communism. You in the party drinking and having a good time. You go home and the next thing you know, 3 months later somebody calling you saying you got to go to the Senate on the House Senate Un-American activities. And you're going, I went to a party. Well, I went to a lecture. You see what I'm saying? So you understand what's coming? It's clever. So now it's called guilty by association. So you got to understand what's going on. Once one brother called me and said, brother, we need your support. You know, they're locking up our black leaders, and we need you to help us come and protest the arrest of Dr. York and all this kind of thing. I said, well, brother, I want to help. He said, what? I said, let's do some spiritual shit. Let's do some magic. Now, they didn't want to hear that shit, because whoever the fuck was on the phone was working for the government. And they wanted me to say, okay, I'm going to sign my name. You see what I'm saying? I'm protected. See what I'm saying? Motherfucking government don't want shit to do with me. I'm anthrax, and I'm poison when it comes to the goddamn government. You understand what I'm saying? But you all ain't on that level, because they done came after me 40 deep and couldn't even see a nigga. Twice. But see, it takes a motherfucker not being scared of the stuff that the white folks done train you against. You see what I'm saying? So I done went to the satanic stuff, and guess what? It's only our ancestors. I said, hey, it's us. We the ancestors. We're under this stuff they call Satan, ritual, black magic, and your people scared of it, and ain't nothing but the doggone underworld realm, the realm of Osiris, called what? The Black Rites of Osiris. You can get that in, go get Robert Temple's book. There's a whole section on the Black Rites of Osiris. But you're scared of all that. So you don't want to deal with that because you're scared of the devil. You see what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make here is, the way they're going to do this thing is they're going to call you terrorists. And so the entire Afrocentric structure is under siege and under observation. So what you got to do, you got to be clever. You got to, number one, go incognito. You got to do like these people who rule by what? Secrecy. That's the name of the game. They learned that from Hemmit. You rule by secrecy. They say our ability to exist is to remain anonymous. That means I'm not saying that you can't go to meetings and you can't do what you got to deal with. You just can't announce yourself. So are you more? I ain't none of that shit. Or I am all of that. You see what I'm saying? I'm in dirt. No, none of this shit. I'm a ghost. I don't exist. You see what I'm saying? I don't exist. You got to do this and all, because the simple fact here, when they roll on you based on McCarthyism, it's all based on who you're affiliated with. You see? Now the other thing is, don't take no AIDS test, because AIDS is now under the terrorist bill. If they come in and you take an AIDS test, which you're going to come back positive, because the simple fact, that's what the AIDS test is created for. And once you come back positive, then they say, hey, you are now a terrorist if you have sex. See what I'm saying? You're now a terrorist if you have sex, if you come back positive. So you got to get out of that shit. You see? You got to be clever when it comes to this type of stuff, but you can't announce yourself as none. You got to get off the fucking ego. Because in all these bullshit groups, whatever they are, you were something way before they even existed. And the shit that you were before they existed, you call evil. When they talk about the primordial beings or those monsters, shit that you don't want to be. You see what I'm saying? Remember I told you about the sister? She was all this and all that. A sister out in California. More of this and more of that, and indigenous this and all that. And they locked her ass up and they let her out. Then they was getting ready to lock up again, and she came and said, by my father Lucifer, I can't pay these goddamn taxes. And she ain't had no more problem with them. They know much as black people scared of the devil, and this motherfucker talking about Lucifer. They know, wait a minute, hold on. This might be one of these bitches who we might not be fucking with. You see them? We don't want to fuck with the wrong ones. You see, this might be another Marie Laveau on their ass, who they go to arrest her and they can't find her house. Well, that's the kind of shit they did with me after 9/11. Couldn't find the house. And I was standing right on the front porch and they couldn't even see us. You see what I'm saying? They couldn't even see us. So you're going to need to get with some of that stuff. But all this other shit going to land your ass up in the jail being somebody's bitch because y'all egomaniacs with all these damn groups. It's time for you to come out of these groups because you are primordial beings that's higher than these groups. Don't associate yourself with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So don't sign nothing, don't associate yourself with nothing, and all this organize. Don't organize shit. Say, I'm solo. Now you can do some shit underground, but your ability to exist has to remain anonymous.